Okay, so share, copy link, see what happens. It says I'm live. Okay, so I am live. Let's check this. Let's take that, copy, practice, you. Okay, so technically, all right, refresh the page. All right, guys, I had to do some crazy wizardry, and you're gonna see my face big and full on, which isn't ideal. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Some weird things have changed, and they've sort of made a completely new like streaming thing. I'm guessing that you guys can probably see me right now. So yeah, welcome back to Animdojo. I have no idea if this session is actually unlisted or not. Um, Hopefully that I can find a solution for this for the future. But right now, I wanted to quickly brief you and kind of explain to you how things are gonna sort of run this year. Um, First off, Happy New Year and welcome back if you guys have been away. And yeah, I know I've been off the platform, sort of really busy with my own sort of personal work and really pushing myself in a different direction. And hopefully, I'll be able to do some streams in this year. And that's kind of my plan. I just need to kind of figure out what's going on with all these technical new YouTube things. Um, I do recognize some of your names as well, so it's good to see you guys. And yeah, so this year we are introducing a couple of new things. We have the concept of themes. So what we're gonna do is we have chunks of like 3 months where we block out the streamers to give you guys some content. But what we realized is that you have very kind of random topics, and what we wanted to do was find a way to kind of make them all sort of gel together. So the theme is going to be something that rides through the entire 3 month period, basically. It might be shorter than that, so we want to trial it and see how it goes. And this theme that we're starting with is the sort of new year, new you type of approach. And we want to focus on giving you guys a targeted type of training to help improve your skills. So what I wanted to do today was I wanted to actually demonstrate the assignment that I wanted to set for you, which is meant to be a animated cycle that can be put into some sort of montage. The reason for that is not because we wanted to, I know we used to do lots of gimmicky things in the past and make things quite funny and just for fun, but I want to give you guys a very specific type of assignment with a specific deadline. You can use that however you want, and it's not necessarily that it's going to be part of a montage. It's that to think of it as like, imagine you have a shot within a montage and you have to do a cycle. So that's sort of the basic way of looking at it. And how this kind of ties in with the theme is it's very easy to kind of tell yourself, oh, I want to get better at, doing, I don't know, dogs. I want to get better at animating, body mechanics. I want to get better at doing lip sync, or it could be, a specific type of, unique part of the animation, the whole big part of like all the things we do in animation. So by doing it as a cycle, you can focus on the part that you want. So when I say an 80s montage, it doesn't necessarily have to be specifically just someone doing push-ups or punching. It could be whatever you want it to be. So if you wanted to focus on uh, creature animation. You could do a dog doing a sort of a trot in place. You could do uh, whether it's a dog sort of turning around in place, getting ready to sit down, but then they don't really quite sit down. You could do bird flapping. You could do a fish swim. Um, and if it were like body mechanics, you can do someone standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down. You could do a run. You could do, someone turning, looking. Whatever it is you want to do, as long as it's a cycle, as long as it's something that can loop. So think of it as when you look at a GIF and how it can sort of loop regardless of what it is that you guys, uh, you know, whatever the content of it is. So be creative if you want to, but you do have a limit. So there's like uh, 250 maximum for the loop. Now, this is sort of the basic introduction assignment. If you want to do the advanced version of that, it's to basically take that cycle and then to adapt it so that it can become the baseline of what your animation was. So if you saw the streams that Mateo did with the leopard and kind of building off from a cycle first, you could use that kind of approach to build off of your cycle and then use that to submit. Obviously, there will be times where you can submit your work so that we can look at it. You've got feedback Fridays, or you can do that with the end of live stream. So if someone is giving a live stream, at the end of it, they should have an allocated bit where they can look at work. Now, obviously, there's a lot of people who can participate, so it's hard for us to look at every single piece and give detailed advice. So we're going to try and find a better way to be able to give feedback to every single person if you guys want that once we have the pro reviews up and running. But in the meantime, you can submit at Feedback Fridays in the group, sort of on social media, or you can just peer review amongst yourselves. So having said that, I just wanted to quickly give you a quick idea of something that you can do. It's not going to look amazing because I'm obviously like having to show through a camera, but basically what I wanted to do was, let me just quickly bring Maya back up. Hopefully this should be okay. Yeah, so the idea that I had in mind was I was going to do a one-handed push-up, and I wanted to show you sort of my approach to the new approach I have now to animating, which, because my workflow has changed since I've left Blue Zoo. And I know that those of you who have seen the animator's checklist and have seen sort of the work I've done in the past will know that I'm a very big proponent of working pose to pose and then adding breakdowns and all that. But ever since sort of I've been working in VFX lately, I've been having a completely different workflow, which has changed dramatically based on what I've covered. And I do want to do a different session that focuses on that. But for now, I wanted to kind of challenge myself and see how I can combine that with my original method of animating, so pose to pose, but with the new sort of layered technique that is a lot more common in VFX. So I probably won't need 250 frames for my cycle because it's a one-handed push-up, but I'm giving you that as a maximum for what you can do. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be 250 frames. So the idea would be that if you were to animate your character, you want to make sure that your first frame and your last frame are the exact same thing, so that once you go in the middle, you can adapt. Sorry, it'll perfectly loop instead of it having a weird glitch. And sometimes we struggle when we want to like get the animation to loop perfectly. Okay, so it's obviously very slow, so I don't need all this time to do my animation. I had my reference open, but because I was having some issues with the laptop, I kind of switched it off. So let me see if I can just quickly bring it back up to show you what it is I was going to be using. So you're free to use reference, and like I said, it could be as realistic or as cartoony as you want. Okay, so this is the bit I was going to be using, and it was here, this section here. Again, this is me taking it too literally. You don't have to do that, but I wanted to, yeah, so you got this section here. Oh wait, no, that's the second part where he gets better at it. There's the first part where he's not that good at it. Yeah, right there. Okay, so there's different parts to this that you will need to focus on. So if you're going to go without reference, that's fine. If you're going to go with reference, it's important to include that. So when you do submit your work, make sure that you submit your reference as a sort of point of comparison. Now, you don't have to go exactly as you see in your reference, unless of course you're going for a creature. Then it would be great if you can really like analyze it properly and like go, you know, as close as you can. If you're just going pose to pose, it's important to capture the essence of it. So that's kind of what I did. I kind of captured the essence of that and wanted to bring that in into my shot. Now, the second part I would be focusing on would be the timing. So I would say, okay, so he's down here. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's about 18 frames till he reaches the top. So I would then have to take, it's kind of reversed in my file, so I'll just match what I have just so that it's easier to deal with. So we're here on the down, and I'll just grab that key. And then he's on the up. Yep, so there we are. So that's going to happen around 18 frames, right? So I just want to go in and then drag that back to 18 frames. 1, and then how long does it go for him to go down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's about 18 frames back down. So that would be 36. He goes back down. We'll grab this, put it back to 36. And then that would be the sort of last frame. So when you do your loop, when you come to submit, make sure that you submit it as a video file that is the duration of your cycle minus the last frame, because that last frame is meant to kind of loop back. So you don't have to have frame 36. So it would kind of go to frame 35, and that would make it sort of loop back correctly. So the demo I wanted to do was wanted to kind of give a quick glimpse into sort of my kind of renewed approach to animating, but I guess I could just kind of do it really quickly for you here. And it's a very VFX type of approach. I don't know if I would do it this way for everything. I would probably continue to animate the way that I normally do. I can see that it's not the best angle when I'm looking at it here on the iPad, so I don't want to get into too much detail. But what I would do is I would just say that work in the way that you're comfortable with, but also challenge yourself. Whether you want to use the checklist approach, whether you want to use sort of a bit more of a layered approach, that's totally up to you. But yeah, the main thing is that we want you to focus on doing something that loops, is a bit of a challenge that you'll enjoy doing, and you can get some feedback on. So try to really get yourself into a good sort of place. Let me just quickly reverse back to myself, and let me pull back up, see if there's any questions. Yeah, so again, sorry for the technical issue today. I don't know what was happening. There's some weird technical YouTube things that have kind of come in the way that I can't explain. So I'll try to redo this demo for you guys in a better place for for now, I'd say start working on this. You've got the last Thursday of the month. So I believe that's the 30th. Is that what I put down? Yeah, so it's the 30th. So even though the theme will go on until like let's say March, which is about kind of a new you approach, we're gonna try to set a new challenge sort of every month that is uh, gonna give you guys something to work on for that 1 month. So hopefully, if you're quick and you were able to do one of those cycles and you've got feedback and you're happy with it, you can either add more to it on the feedback Friday, or you can start a new one, kind of learning from what you've made, mistakes in, and just doing a completely newer one. Then the following month we'll have another one in February, and then hopefully another one in March, and then for the month after that we will set a new theme. Um, and hopefully this month we will also be able to get back our streamers, and you will know about them when they're starting. Um, and yeah, again, sorry for the technical issue tonight. Not the best start, but in kind of typical Animdojo fashion, it's kind of how things go sometimes. I'm gonna try my best to reschedule this as soon as possible. If not, I will record the demo at least, and then be able to explain to you what's going on. And I want to do for you the sort of new workflow approach. I haven't quite really like diluted it down to something that is like the checklist where I can say, okay, so it's uh, solid poses, and then you want to get your contrast, and then you want to do your breakdowns. Like it's not. I haven't reached that point yet with that workflow, but it is very different, and it's a kind of uh, almost opposite way of working. And I think there's a very strong way where you can do both. You can kind of do your checklist, add to it with this layered approach. Um, so yeah, hopefully that should help. But for now, I just wanted to say Happy New Year. Thanks for being here. Sorry for the technical issue. You are free to use the rigs that are provided on our site. If you want to use any other rig, if it's from another sort of school, we can't really promote it on our channels. So if you wanted to get sort of a bit of a boost on social media, we can't really help with that if it's from a completely different school. If it's a free rig, maybe it's fine. But yeah, so the idea is that we want to help when you're submitting the work and it looks good. Oh yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned this as well. So yeah, at the end of it, we also want to pick the top three, and either depending on whether that person got a lot of feedback or not, like maybe they can get in-depth feedback, kind of like as a reward, uh, or sort of a shout out on social media, kind of to boost and to help them get some. Oh, I'm getting so great to see you. Looking forward. Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So we're gonna be boosting them on social media, and that's kind of the drive of helping people get jobs. And obviously, we can't guarantee that people will get work, but what we can do is at least is if someone's work looks great, we can push it out to social media. So that's what the two things we want to do is like the feedback and the social awareness. So these are for the top three at the end of that cycle of challenge basically. Um, and yeah, once we know who's doing what when, we'll announce more of the streamers and what they're going to be doing. But expect to see some of the familiar faces that you've seen recently. Um, and yeah, so if you want to get some stuff ready for next week's Friday, Feedback Friday, I believe Sarah is giving feedback on that. So use the link that's on the Sync Sketch project. I think you can upload versions to the same. So if you uploaded something that's last week's, you can then I think upload the same project. You can upload like the update to it. But I'll double check and see how that works, because that would be great to be able to see what week on week how things progress. So ideally, we would want to be able to start this at the start of the month, but let's see how it goes. But yeah, so we got a question here. It'd be possible to have another lesson on timing and spacing, some exercises we could do to help improve on that element. Yeah, we could do that. So if it lets so here's a good example of how you can improve when it comes to the cycles. Pick something basically that would be able to be almost experimented with when it comes to timing. So I would say avoid something that's going to be very heavy on the body mechanics. So, for example, I would avoid doing something where the character has to like lift something heavy or have to push or get up and do something, that requires a lot of weight shifting and all that stuff. I would focus on something where timing is really the main thing. And then when you submit it for Feedback Fridays, you can get some feedback. But definitely, yeah, we could do um, a talk on timing. I know that I could definitely give one that's different to what we've been doing before, which is all the cartoony stuff. I'm still gonna be doing some cartoony stuff later on, but because I've been sort of entrenched in some very realistic stuff recently, my mind is in that mode right now. So it would be great to at least give you guys that kind of information and put it on the site somewhere. If there are any suggestions to things that you would like us to cover as well, you can email me directly. So it's bader@animdojo.com. You can just email me directly, and we'll find a way to be able to like either find a streamer who does it, or if someone already knows how to do it within our pool, we can put it together for you guys. If there are types of animations we haven't covered for you, or someone that you would like us to bring on board, we can also try to do that. I know some people have suggested, I forgot what was his name. He was a guy from Blizzard. It don't think it would work out simply because he already has tutorials on Gumroad. Maybe we can bring him in one day as a guest, sort of. Oh, you're animating right now. Cool. So yeah, that's basically it for now. We're trying to keep it really simple. Um, you have a very simple sort of assignment, which should help make it really good. Just because it's short and simple doesn't mean that the animation itself um, is gonna be simple. Even something as like as simple as just a head turn, if it's just done really well, if you really put the attention to it, that is a much better um, exercise and a much better way of demonstrating your skills than putting something that's so elaborate and complicated that's very difficult to I guess this is open to everyone. Yeah, you can see my beard. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully we'll be able to get you guys on board with all this stuff, and I'll update you with the newer things once we have it. So for now, I'd say I'll see you guys soon. And again, sorry for the technical issue. I'm guessing this video can be viewed by others who are not currently on the site. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Take care.